So hey ladies and gentlemen, I don't really believe in slavery like most people believe, because if you do your research you will realize a lot of people have been telling you the mumbo jumbo that you needed to hear so you would agree with their ideology.
I'm an ally.
Because if people speak the facts, you're going to realize that the slave owners that you've been hating couldn't even enter Africa because all the diseases that were there, they couldn't even resist it. They couldn't even survive a month on Africa. So somebody in Africa that is immune, that is already living on that island, had to sell these people.
That's concerning.
Where's the reparation for the African people to the other African people? Nobody knows that. But let me show you what I found, because this person articulated so beautiful. And everybody was silent.
Well, it's a kind of grievance competition. Your guest earlier just tried to engage in it. I don't know what hurt she believes she's had from slavery. All of this was addressed 2 centuries ago. Everything has consequences. All history has consequences and ramifications. But, you know, if we were to play this fairly, we would at least look at all of the countries around the world that engaged in the slave trade who are simply not interested in any form of reparations. The Ottoman Empire, all the Arab countries who not just traded far more slaves than across the Atlantic, but castrated all the men so that there wouldn't be any more African slaves.
I'm actually both mad and disappointed.
Interest across Africa in paying reparations for selling their brother and sister Africans into slavery or for working them to the bone to the present day.
And that is what I have been saying. Nobody is calling them out. Most people in America, France, or all the Western countries, it's like, yeah, but a few years ago we had a bad time. And I agree, you had a bad time. But at least you are in a country that you have the privilege that people are trying to listen to you. But the fact that you're like, I'm going to stay on this bandwagon 24/7 and then complain I'm not going forward because I'm only focused on the negativity, I'm like, bruh, people only complain in certain countries because they have the privilege to do so. Why don't you have the privilege to do something to go forward other than complain? That's all I'm saying.
Slavery across Africa today. In fact, there are more slaves in the world today than there were at the height of the transatlantic slave trade. So some of us are simply a bit bored of hearing people ripping at closed wounds and then crying about their hurt or their presumed hurt.
All these people that care about the people in immigration have the most beautiful iPhones through slavery, or people that have no human right in freaking Africa, and you're supporting that? Do you really think those people are working because they like the job? Come on, man. Come on. You are so disingenuous. I care about these people. Look, I can show you on my phone. You say every year you buy a new phone. You're supporting the market over there. I didn't know about that. They have human rights. They live better, but the other people were forced to come over here. I'm like, yeah, by their own people.
Because everybody could do this. 1 million Europeans were stolen by North Africans over the course of decades of the North African Barbary pirate slave trade. Where would you end if you did that? The answer is you couldn't end, because nobody is alive who has actually suffered the hurt, and nobody is alive who did the wrong. And I'd make one other point, if I may. It's always the countries that people want to come to who are put through this struggle session.
Finally, some sense out of you.
Britain, like America and France, are the most desired destinations for migrants worldwide.
Oh, Sweden too.
And have been for centuries. Why is that? It's not because we're racist, it's because we're better. It's because we're good. It's because when we see racism, we actually call it out and recognize it as a sin. Try finding that across Africa. Try finding that across the Middle East or in China. Nobody would hear. So what we have is a situation where the more virtuous countries are presented as the worst countries. It's sick, and most of us are tired of it.
You're wrong.
Look, man, that is one of the best articulation of the whole situation that I've seen in a very short few minutes, that I was like, damn, it makes freaking sense. You have no freaking idea. People are complaining, yeah, you took us. I'm like, look at the countries now. If they were doing so great, why would the people stay there? They are moving to a new country, but then to complain that you had the opportunity, but then you don't feel at the same level. I'm like, bruh, appreciate it. When I left Curacao to go to Holland to study, I adapted to the culture. I learned the language. I learned the culture. I tried to talk to them, speak like them while having my own culture, but I needed to expand my identity. It's not like I am this culture, I'm going to live like this, and I'm not going to adapt to the culture because you are not trying to understand me. I'm like, bro, I helped you. How can you come to my house, tell me how my house has to be managed because you lost your and do my kindness, and because I give you the option to have an opinion, instead of joining and going forward, you're creating, we need more houses, we need more houses. Can I still live here? Okay, we need more. I'm like, bruh, come on, man. I'm not saying complaining is wrong, but the focus on so many things these days, it's so disingenuous. The amount of time I have a discussion about something and somebody says, oh, so you don't like black people or immigration? I'm like, huh? Where did that come from? Because they care about themselves more than you care about helping them. I'm like, yo, don't you see?
Enabler, 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 enabler.
But hey, that's just me. Maybe I had a different experience. Maybe I have experienced racism. But even if I had the opportunity, I appreciate the country even if it happens. Racism exists, cool, it happens. But the fact that you're just going to focus it, that's like a sergeant at an army camp with that white glove. Let me check if you cleaned well.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
You just want to find something because you know you can find it consistently, just because somebody decided to be obnoxious. Racism, I was right. Let's change everything. I don't know. Anyway, I can rant about that. I have some personal experience, but now I'm bothered by a kid, so I'll end the video right here. Let me know your guys' opinion, like, share the usual, and just be nice. I mean, my kid is dark white, and that's what I'm going to tell him. There is no racism in this house because life is good.